This is the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. It's a mailbag. All of your questions as they came in live here on the Dallas Cowboys Report. We'll get off with some super chat and super thanks to hit here on today's show to begin. First up, the super thanks from G Sound. This one came in on this morning's video. If you're watching live the Monday morning Jason Peters breakdown, G Sound just says thanks. Appreciate that, my friend. If you're wondering, wait, what's a super thanks? Allow me to explain. YouTube has the ability to donate outside of live videos. Click the thanks icon, not live, but on an on-demand video, just the way you would watch it if not live. Any super thanks you send in, we appreciate so much. We will give you a shout-out no matter what, either just like G Sound just says thanks, we'll show you some love. All right, Something Savage, also a super thanks. Big fan of the show, Tom. Thank you. Late last year, I was pretty unimpressed with Kellen Moore's success rate and sensed that other teams had generally caught on to his style. Haven't anything about him, but should he be on the hot seat as well? I do think from a hot seat perspective, yeah. I think about it this way. We know the head coach, Mike McCarthy, in offensive mind, is on the hot seat. And I agree. I think down the stretch last year, Kellen Moore and the Cowboys offense struggled. The offensive line was not doing very good, but we yelled and screamed, do an outside run. And they didn't do it very often. And that entire offensive room with allegedly bright minds like Kellen Moore, Mike McCarthy, Doug Nussmeier, Joe Philbin, smart guys, they could not get it figured out. And that is a failure of Kellen Moore, first and foremost, but also everyone else from that standpoint. That is a red flag for me. So I do believe that Kellen Moore is very much on the hot seat. Think about it this way. If you're Mike McCarthy and the offense is struggling, shouldn't you fire Kellen Moore and take over play calling? Like, that is your job, your butt on the line. So if I'm the Cowboys and I'm Mike McCarthy and the offense is struggling and Kellen Moore is not doing a good job, like if the receivers drop everything, okay, different conversation. But if they're just not moving the ball at all and the offense looks bad and everything's a disaster, like I would say at that point you've got to consider making a change if you're Mike McCarthy, if only to save your own job, at least in the short term. So what do you think? How hot is Kellen Moore's seat right now? Scale this for me from 1 to 100. 1 on the low end, 100 on the high end. I think it should be pretty hot because if the offense struggles, Moore should be the first one to go. This is the pinned comment on today's show. So if an ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. From Cowboy Boulder Football Talk, wonder where you're from. I like the idea of us facing a tougher team. It will tell us more about how good the boys are going to be. I get where you're coming from. I also know that this is one of the tougher games you'll play all year, so it does set a benchmark. But I also know that week 1 versus week 10, week 17, it's going to be a different football team. I wouldn't mind a Giants game to kind of ease into the schedule, get some confidence going. But you know what? You got to play them at some point. So get going or not, they got to make some improvements from the way things ended last year. He sound, might Turpin be a poor man's Tyreek Hill? I don't think so, mostly because everyone has searched for the next Tyreek Hill. Who's found one? Not really the case. And there is a very big difference, I think, just in the pure wide receiver skill set so far shown from Turpin and Hill, but also just their sizes. Tyreek Hill is 5'10", 191. KaVontae Turpin is 5'7", 158. That is a massive difference in size. You're talking upwards of 30 pounds, almost 35-pound difference between KaVontae Turpin and Tyreek Hill. That is a huge difference in terms of what type of contact they'll be able to take and break. Now, look, from a shifting perspective, sure, Turpin and Hill are very dynamic in that area. But I think if we're expecting Tyreek Hill on offense, we're going to be disappointed. I think Tavon Austin on offense, plus even maybe better return value, hopefully better return value, is a little bit more of a realistic expectation for KaVontae Turpin. Savage 505, are you more confident in the offense or defense? I'm going to go defense. I think there will be regression this year. It's just that's going to happen from a takeaway perspective. But with the way the offense ended, with your injuries and personnel losses, I think it's the defense. DC Frell, another super chat. Add Wayne McGarity as a Cowboys legend. That is a deep cut on that one. Former Cowboy and Saint for you there, producer Trace. It was what, 4th round pick when I was like, 8 or something like that. So yes, Wayne McGarity definitely counts as a Cowboys legend. From Bob Beck, what is a successful season for the Cowboys? It's a great question. I've thought about this actually in recent days myself because I heard on a different podcast, I think. What was it? Maybe it was the Athletic one. I would define successful season as what allows Mike McCarthy to keep his job. And what I came back to was they got to make it to the NFC title game. If they come up short, barring like a weird, major injury in that, divisional round, if they don't make it to the title game, I think they're going to be disappointed and potentially fire Mike McCarthy. There are some paths which that, doesn't happen and he keeps his job, but I think that's how I would define it. That's a high bar, make no mistake, but, we know Mike's in the hot seat. So what do you think? Will the Dallas Cowboys make it to the NFC title game? Type in Y for yes, or you can type in N for no. Let me know your predictions in the comment section. You can bet on this, brother. You can bet on Super Bowl odds, NFC East odds, championship odds, you name it, with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code Cowboys125 for a 125% deposit bonus when you put down at least $100. There are also props for various awards this year, like Defensive Player of the Year. TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald are all plus 700. Micah Parsons is plus 900. Decent value as far as I'm concerned. Put some money down at BetUS. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Cowboys125. Joseph Rodriguez, should we trade for Robbie Anderson? You can, I think from like a affordability standpoint, contract-wise, very cheap. I'm interested there. I don't know if he's really available because Carolina redid his deal before this offseason. So it wouldn't make sense for them to go trade him. Like, he's going to be their outside threat with DJ Moore and then I think Laviska Shenault getting some slot reps. So I would not anticipate a Robbie Anderson trade. Andres Gonzalez, trade for Darren Waller. I think Waller's about to get paid by the Raiders, so cross that off the books. You would have to move Schultz in a deal, which I would probably do. Like, Waller's better than Schultz. It would come down to how much more would Vegas want back in a trade. Do they want a premium pick? If so, I'm out. A regular pick? Could have that conversation. I'm a huge Darren Waller fan. He's an awesome football player. I think the Raiders will keep him, though, because he's important to them trying to win football games. Mr. Radborn, will we sweep the NFC East this year? I don't think so. I think you'll be competitive in every game. I think you'll win 4 or 5 of them, but it's very tough, to win every game individually. That's so much to ask for. It's an unrealistic goal from that standpoint. Or at least it's a tough goal to reach. Charles Clausen, do we need Gallup before week 4? Feel like you might change your tune because you're banking on Noah Brown and Jalen Tolbert? Look, can you beat the Giants and Commanders without Gallup? Yes. But wouldn't it be nice to give him even just like 20 snaps a game and bring him along slower and not rush him back in week 5? So I think I'll say this, they will not rush him. The Cowboys think he can play right now if he had to. They're not going to. I would trust the Cowboys' medical staff from that standpoint. So with Gallup in mind, before or after a return in week 3, type in A for after or type in B for before. Let me know right now in the comments section. Now, if you want free Cowboys videos every single day, live shows on Monday, watch parties coming on Sunday, you've come to the right spot. Hit that big red button and join us every single day for everything going on around America's team. Zachary Marquez, if Kelvin Joseph struggles, would it be a good idea to look for a replacement like corner Josh of Alabama? Well, Josh Jobe is on the Eagles right now. He was a UDFA this year. So, bad name pick there. But if Kelvin Joseph struggles, yes, you should be looking at corners because you trust Deshaun Wright. Deron Bland, I think, can play for you, but Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis have maybe 1 or 2 years combined left on this team because Anthony Brown's going to get paid in the offseason. I just watch. So, yes, if Joseph struggles, the Cowboys should still be looking at other options at corner in next year's draft class. Angelo Osborne, who starts opposite Tank Lawrence? You'll see all the guys rotate. Like, you're going to see Dorrance Armstrong. You'll see Sam Williams, Dante Fowler, probably some Terrell Basham, Chauncey Golston will play some end and DT. I think Dorrance Armstrong, though, is your starter. I think he'll play the most snaps as well, even though there will be a heavier rotation. Now, maybe you meant sack numbers because, that's what people care about. That's what's sexy, right? Who has more sacks this year for the Dallas Cowboys? DA for Dorrance Armstrong, DF for Dante Fowler, SW for Sam Williams, or O for other. Let me know who you think finishes this regular season with more sacks. Make your predictions in the comment section. Robert Garland, how do you feel about this year's team as a whole? I feel this year is going to go about like last year, unfortunately. Look, if they get into the playoffs, that would be a good start. They were not that far away from making a run. The Niners were a play away from making it to the NFC Championship game. Every team outside of Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, and maybe New England, who made the playoffs, had a very real chance to make a run. That did not happen. So I don't feel as confident as I did last year, but if they play better, the losses on paper will be evened out. Footwork Genie 21, with our offensive line worse than what it was last year, what is our game plan when teams dare us to run? Hopefully run the ball successfully, right? Like if I'm an opposing defense, I'm like, yeah, run the football, we dare you. Because last year, teams played a lot of soft coverage, too high shell stuff, and said, run the football, light boxes, run the football, we'll give you the advantage. And the Cowboys could not run the football. And when that happens, your offense is in trouble. The Bucs have a fantastic defensive line. They'll dare the Cowboys run the football, I would expect. Can they do it? I'm not so sure. That's going to be the tricky part to figure out from that standpoint. So hopefully, with better chemistry and a year off, the O-line plays a lot better, and they can run the football when dared. Super chat from DC for Ellen. A chance we see Bree in place of Jane. That is not the plan this year. There will be no other co-hosts this year with that same style. It'll just be me here on the Cowboys Report.